Hi everyone, my name is Andrew Cooley, Managing Director and Auctioneer at Avenue Auctions, and today I'm going to be talking to you about why I wholeheartedly believe you should take your property to auction. So what are the benefits? Well, the first one is it creates urgency from both a buyer's point of view, but also from an agency point of view. Think of it this way, if you were a buyer and you're in the market looking to purchase and you see a property that has a set auction date and a set time, it creates urgency for that buyer to actually inspect the property, do a building and pest report, if it's strata title, do a strata report, but also make sure their finance is in place and have the contract reviewed. If it were a for sale campaign, it lacks urgency. So there's no real motivation for the buyer to do all of those things in a condensed period of time. Furthermore, from an agency point of view, it ensures the agent is doing absolutely everything they can to make sure that property is presentable, make sure the marketing is perfect, make sure they're doing all the callbacks, talking to buyers, talking to the owner, and ensuring come auction day, everything has been done, is set and ready, and hopefully achieve a result on the day. So urgency plays a really big part in ensuring that the auction is done properly, but also making sure everyone is ready come auction day. The next point is competition. Now, when you think about it, if you put people in a competitive environment, everyone wants to win, everyone wants to buy that property, and it tends to further escalate the sale price. Now, I've been calling auctions for over 15 years, and I've booked well over 12,000 auctions. I've averaged a price point above reserve at $75,000 on average as well. So that's testament to say that when people are registered, when they're in an auction environment, they push themselves further. And that's why it's really important to employ a superior auctioneer and a superior agent, because when they work together and they get people bidding, it helps the owner get the best possible price. In addition to that, we have what's called an immediate exchange. And this is a big byproduct, a big feature and benefit of an auction campaign. So when you list your property for auction, when the hammer falls and the contracts are signed and exchange has taken place, it means that property is sold and the buyer can't rescind the contract. I can't tell you how many times I've heard agents talk to me about buyers rescinding contracts in cooling off periods, whether it might be due to finance or maybe a building and pest report. So you can take absolute confidence, absolute peace of mind, knowing that when that property is sold, contracts are signed, you're sold. The next point is you have a much clearer structured selling campaign. Now what that means is when you list your property for auction, you have a date and time that you're working towards. And traditionally an auction campaign is a 4-week marketing campaign. So I know myself over the years when I've sold property, always by auction of course, I know that come that day and that time I expect to be sold. I know the agent is going to run a midweek open, but also a weekend open as well. So it gives me great clarity as to how that campaign is going to unfold. But when it comes to a for sale campaign, or again, any other method of sale, there's really no end date. So as an owner, I'm not really sure the date I'm working towards. I'm not really sure how many open homes we're going to have, and I'm not sure when my property will be sold. So with an auction campaign, you can take full confidence knowing that it's well structured and we have that date and time we're working towards. In addition to that, with a structured selling campaign, it gives the agent the ability to reduce the days on market that property actually sits on the market. Now, the longer a property sits on the market, the more buyers start to think, well, what's wrong with it? Why hasn't it sold? Is there something wrong with it? Is it overpriced? Auction reduces days on market. So if you're thinking about taking your property to market, it's important that you run an auction campaign and take full advantage of that superior structure. Now finally, and this potentially is the most significant point of an auction campaign, there's no price capping. Okay, so picture this, you're a buyer and you're searching through the internet and you see a property for sale at $1 million. Now, I'm not sure about you, but if I saw a property for sale at $1 million, I'm not going to go to the agent and offer $1 million. I'm going to offer a much lesser price. By going to auction, we remove price as a barrier. So, for example, using that same scenario, maybe if my budget is more so around the $950 to $1 million mark, I'm still going to go through and have a look at that property. And it's going to help me build an emotional connection to that property. Now, even though my budget might be $950 to $1 million, as a buyer going to that auction, my psychology is more so thinking, well, how much am I really prepared to push myself to secure this property? And I can't tell you how many times I've seen a buyer push themselves another $5, $10, $20, or $50,000. And again, this is all about the auctioneer and their ability to extract as much as they possibly can. So by not having a price, it gives you a chance to get more buyers come through the property, but also it makes your buyers think instead of what could I buy it for if that were a for sale campaign offering less than the asking price, but for an auction campaign, what am I really prepared to push myself to? So as you can see, there are a number of features and benefits of taking your property to auction and choosing auction as your preferred method of sale. Now, it's really important when you do go to market that you list with an agent who is an auction agent as well. And there's a big difference between those who conduct auctions every now and again to those who run auctions all the time. They're much more experienced in the craft of actually having a property go to auction and understanding how to work those buyers come auction day. But remember this, auction is all about giving you, the owner, the best possible chance to get the best possible result in the shortest period of time.